This is Heather Van Wild with Ranger Up Works, coming to you again with a update to one of the other stories that we've been going over lately. Talking about Gresham High School students in an attempt to get their SRO or Student Resource Officer removed from the school and go the extra step further to remove school resource officers completely from Gresham High School, replacing them with mental health-based community and care teams that are necessary to better take care of youth and help problems going forward. A state representative responded to the OPB article that was done that night, saying that he stands with the Gresham High School students who came forward to express their concerns, and that for many people these are not new. These complaints about this specific SRO dated back for years. He urges the school district administration and the school board to act immediately. It goes on to quote the OPB article saying that Lieutenant John Rasmussen, who is a spokesperson for the Gresham Police Department, said that the students' group claims were, quote, libelous and potentially slanderous attempts to defame the school resource officer. In this case, they just flat out said, the students are lying.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
So Representative Ruiz went on to point out that gaslighting students on the experience that they have had is beyond disappointing to him, and that it's supposed to do better and listen to our students. Now, the OPB article also went on to point out that Portland Public Schools and David Douglas and Park Row School Districts have all removed their SRO programs. The Reynolds School District does still have one, but they are currently looking for feedback from the community to look into questions of if they want to continue their program. Going into tonight, as you'll see with the statements from the students, the school district claimed that they didn't want to be a, quote, trendy school district. Basically setting the idea that these desires for accountability are not actually desires for accountability, but just to be, quote, cool. Representative Ruiz went on a few days later, this was a little over a week ago, confirming that the experiences of these students regarding SROs should never have been ignored. And he had formally requested the school district to act immediately and put the students' voices first. Going on further to state that specific SRO has no business working in any of the schools, and that this is just the first step of a larger conversation about whether they're even belonging inside school buildings. And Representative's personal thoughts was that we do need to divest and reinvest that money in programs that prioritize mental health, which seems very similar to what the students are asking for. There has been some potentially good news. Just before I started filming the studio segment here, I received reports that the school district may have decided to remove that SRO from his position in the school and bring in a third-party consultant to review the entire concept of SROs. This is basically just removing the stick from somebody's leg before you start treating the wound. You know, it's definitely not the full fix, but it is a necessary first step. So, coming into tonight, and I did go over this on Twitter when I was first talking about the plans for tonight, I did receive reports about police as well as far-right counter-protesters appearing at the school district building, which appear to have more or less resolved itself before the students started marching. Where I was at their final destination, at the charter school at Civic Drive,
SROs have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! SROs have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
to their homes because they have missed school and threatened them. He has searched students after school hours for no reasoning, especially it's students of color that this is happening to. He's a few years ago he tackled a student over no reasoning. He spit on her, he commented about her breast. So he's sexually harassed students, he's racially profiled students, and we need him out because no one in our school, especially students of color, they do not feel safe. And we should be able to feel safe in our school, especially our most marginalized students. And we do not want an SRO to replace him. We want to eliminate all SROs from our school because we do not feel safe with SROs. And we want to replace it with mental health counselors, just more mental health resources as well. I think that's pretty much it for us to share.
I want to thank everybody that showed up to support these students. I think that it's really important that we continue to empower them, encourage them, as they have organized everything that they have been putting forth. Everything that we're actually seeing right now is the same rhetoric that comes from police and the police association. The police association president just the other day said that the officer at Gresham actually has an impeccable record. That's inaccurate information. Like the student said, this officer actually spit in a black student's face, commented on her breast as well as many other women of color, has also profiled many people of color, went to their houses and threatened to arrest them, has been pushing forward cases of fights to the juvenile justice system. This officer does not have an impeccable record. These students are speaking up, and they are being told by the police that they are liars. That's victimizing them. That's not okay. We need to listen to our youth and what they are actually saying, their stories, their experiences. This is not political. This is not just about police. This is systemic and institutional racism. These students are courageous. They've been dealing with opposition that has been going against them for just standing up for their rights, standing up for their students, speaking on their experiences and being advocates for their peers. That's their right, and they're being threatened. Not only by other students, they are being threatened, harassed, talked about by staff, faculty, police officers. That's not okay. These students have said it many times. They want this current SRO to get out of their school. They do not want more officers in their school. They want mental health specialists. These kids are dealing with not being in school for like a year and a half. We need people that are nice, that can be proactive, that can actually give kids the skills and the tools that they need to cope and deal with conflict. That's how you deal with conflict. We don't need police in our schools to stop conflict. They don't do that. That is the school to prison pipeline. We are tired of this. We are tired of the Gresham School Board to be a trendy school board. This is not about being trendy. They're in there right now talking about SROs in the contract. They have lied on the agenda, and I sent them an email today. They said that they met with many organizations to previously talk about the SRO contract. First of all, there were no African American organizations that they reached out to. Second of all, I reached out to a few of those organizations myself, and they said that they did not either talk with them about the contract or agree to have SROs in their school. We are tired of them not being transparent, not being held accountable, and doing these closed doors, behind doors, handshake deals with the Gresham Police Department. We have also put in a request, a public records request. We want to know what has been going on behind closed doors. What kind of handshakes has the assistant superintendent and the superintendent been doing with the Gresham Police Department? And let's not forget that a member of this school board, a previous member of this school board, actually worked with the Gresham Police Department. Let's also not forget that Gresham High School is allowing Gresham Police Department and Multnomah County Sheriff to actually train at their high school. We want to know what kind of backdoor handshakes, what type of money they are being side pushed and deals that are being done. This is corruption at the hands of our youth. While they're actually dealing with a pandemic, trying to get over a pandemic, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out how they're going to be adults, trying to figure out how they can just listen to education and be educated like they should be. Yet, we are seeing all across the nation, all across Oregon, we just seen it in Southern Oregon, we just seen it in Newburgh, these school boards are not being held accountable. And that's a problem. These school boards need to be held accountable. These students just met with a council member of Gresham and the president of the council members in Gresham, and they basically said that it's up to the Gresham School Board. Who is holding the Gresham School Board accountable? Nobody. Gresham school boards and school boards across the nation and in Oregon need accountability. Newburgh is having to do sign-ins to get the school board members off of the board. We shouldn't have to do that. These people are volunteers. Some of them might not even have experience in education. We need to find a way where we can hold these school boards accountable. Because as we see it, they are bringing their conservative views to the school board, and it's affecting our youth. And we will remain and continue to protest, be in these streets, and hold everyone accountable. So again, I want to thank everybody that came out. I'm passionate about this, especially when it's our youth. We need to make sure that we're protecting them. And the people that are put in place right now are not protecting them. And everybody should be sad about that. It's a problem. So we're gonna do one more chant, and then we're gonna walk down this path to make sure everybody's safe to get back to their vehicles.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! I'm talking to you! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's so got to go! No more silence, no more lies! We will not be victimized! No more silence, no more lies! We will not be victimized! No more silence, no more lies! We will not be victimized! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Afternoon's got to go! 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 Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
So, yeah, that was... This was definitely another powerful night. Yeah. Aside that, I didn't want to document. It honestly felt like one of the protests that I used to cover downtown, just in miniature. And I was kind of glad to see that. It felt like the community is starting to take this more and more seriously, and if Representative Ruiz did speak to the school board and had anything to do with this, I am glad to see that that there may actually be changes coming forward with this. And that last speaker was right. Gresham Barlow School District, the school board position do appear to be elected positions. But that doesn't mean that they only pander to the desires of their supporters. To look at the needs of their students, all the families. And when you're downplaying the circumstances and issue, then that is definitely something that people need to pay attention to, and work on addressing. That said, that's our show for today. If you liked what you saw here and want to do more to help out, we do have links in the video description to our Linktree where you can help follow us and support directly. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. Share it to people that you know that may not understand what's going on and have information. And, yeah. Stay tuned. We will, as we get more information, keep you updated. Take care.